everybody, I'm Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. A new Tomb Raider game was just announced and will be using Unreal Engine 5, plus we take a look at some unique Elden Ring playthroughs. In the entertainment world, Disney has seemingly removed a Stan Lee tribute in one of its shows, and we have news that Jim Carrey may be retiring from acting. Hope you're having a great day, let's get to it.
Crystal Dynamics, the developer behind the most recent reboot to the Tomb Raider series, has announced a new Tomb Raider game that will be built using Unreal Engine 5. Revealed during the State of Unreal 2022, Crystal Dynamics promised a high-quality cinematic action-adventure experience built on the same engine as CD Projekt Red's next Witcher game. The last Tomb Raider game was released back in 2018 with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, developed by Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. Though no official game title was announced, we can get an idea of what the new Tomb Raider could look like on Unreal Engine 5. The livestream showcased a cinematic test demo created by the Coalition, showing movie-quality assets using millions of polygons rendered in real time. This is a massive leap forward in graphical fidelity, quality, and realism that displays what fans can expect from next-generation games. We first saw Unreal Engine 5's capabilities in the Matrix Awakens experience released last December. Taking open-world experiences to the next level using high-level lighting techniques, realistic human features, and cost-effective optimization techniques will allow games powered on Unreal Engine 5 to run on lower-powered consoles like Xbox Series S. If you'd like to try Unreal Engine 5, there are two demo projects, City Sample and Lyra, a shooter playable right now, available for free to tinker with on Unreal Engine. Who knows, maybe you'll make the next big game in the process. Moving on, the remaining half of April's Xbox Game Pass has been announced, and one of which is a cultural staple game in my house. MLB The Show 22 is now available on Xbox Game Pass as a day one release to download and play. This is the 17th entry in the MLB The Show franchise, but it's only the second entry available on non-Sony consoles. Each season brings new challenges and new competition, so live out your dream baseball matchups with new legends joining the diamond. There's nothing like battling your tios in a baseball game like MLB. Cricket 22 is also now available on Xbox Game Pass, bringing a robust game that cricket fans might enjoy. A fully licensed Ashes contest is available for anyone wanting to take part in the standing rivalry between Australia and England. Coming to Xbox Game Pass April 7th, set out for adventure in Dragon Age 2. Also coming on the same day is the first-person space combat game Star Wars Squadrons. Pilot a variety of iconic ships in multiplayer or experience the single-player campaign. The retro-styled cyber-noir point-and-click adventure game Chinatown Detective Agency also comes to Game Pass on the 7th. Players control an ex-cop who opens her own detective agency as she takes on clients, travels the world, and solves dangerous cases. The award-winning graphic adventure Life is Strange: True Colors comes to Game Pass April 12th. Also coming that day is the turn-based strategy war game Panzer Corps 2. Last on the list is the wacky fantasy universe of the Dungeon of Nehobek and the gothic action adventure and Gamescom 2021's winner for Best Indie Game, Lost in Random. Those drop on the 12th and 14th, respectively. IGN gave Lost in Random an 8 out of 10 for its original action that thinks outside the box, so it's definitely something to check out. And finally, Stardew Valley creator Concerned Ape silently revealed their next game, Haunted Chocolatier, will have boss fights. Spotted by PC Gamer, Eric Baroni revealed the music behind a boss fight scene in the upcoming game. The preview was shared on a recent Reason Studios YouTube livestream demonstrating a song played when battling the B-Boss. Though Haunted Chocolatier is not a sequel to Stardew Valley, it will, however, also have NPC relationships, and a B-Boss apparently. Sadly, no release date was mentioned in the livestream, though we can be confident that Haunted Chocolatier is well underway. This past weekend saw one Elden Ring player beat the game without taking damage and another without dealing it. Man, Elden Ring fans are coming up with some pretty incredible gameplay videos. What's next? Someone beats the game using the magma whip candlestick? The entire Twitch livestream uploaded to YouTube saw Seki conduct the run without access to buffs such as Red Feather Branch Sword, which could have potentially increased Seki's damage, so this is an even more impressive feat. YouTuber Iron Pineapple completed a unique Elden Ring run by defeating the game without dealing direct damage. According to VG247, Pineapple relied on summoned spirits to deal damage instead, mostly using summonable fanged imps alongside other speedrun tactics, allowing for major parts of the game to be skipped. Elden Ring was released about a month ago, and fans are still finding new items, areas, and completing the game in record time. The current record is held by Distortions 2, clocking in 18 minutes and 58 seconds as of March 28th. And finally, the legendary point-and-click series Monkey Island is getting a new sequel from the original director coming this year. Original writer-director Ron Gilbert tweeted out this message with a teaser trailer of Return to Monkey Island, stating he and his team have been working on it for the past 2 years in complete secrecy. The game is being published by Devolver Digital in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, bringing back original co-writer Dave Grossman and LucasArts composers Michael Land, Michael McConnell, and Clint Bajakian. Tim Schafer, who runs Microsoft's Double Fine, does not return for this project. There is no additional information on the game, but from a 2013 blog post from Gilbert, we can gather the game will be a retro game powered by modern hardware that pays homage back to Monkey Island 1 and 2, but ignores the events of every game after the second. Gilbert's ideas for the new sequel include a full-on inventory, no tutorials, and no hint systems. He also said he'd like to rebuild the original Scum engine. If Gilbert's ideas from 2013 manifest in this new rendition of Monkey Island, fans are going to be super excited when it is released this year. A new patch is coming to Final Fantasy XIV with new main scenario quests, raids, a new residential area, and so much more. In the Square Enix 70th Final Fantasy XIV letter from the producer livestream that took place on Friday, the developers released a trailer of new content coming to the game. The 6.1 patch update delivers a new story to continue from Endwalker journeying with the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. The trailer revealed a new Extreme Trial, the Minstrel's Ballad and Singer's Aria, a new Alliance raid dungeon, Myths of the Realm Part 1, Aglea, new ultimate raids, and a strategic adventure crystalline conflict PvP feature as Rival Wings is on hiatus for balancing. The trailer showcases new glamours, housing items, new tribal quests, new mounts, minions, accessories, and a new residential district, Imperium. Just a note for those interested in moving here, for the first round of sales, empty plots will be distributed via a lottery system. So good luck. A new Gyro PvP gear set collaboration has been introduced with new achievements, titles for Shadowbringers and Endwalker jobs, and special mounts by legendary character designer Keita Amemiya. With a new adventure plate, portrait feature, graphical fidelity update, and additional solo play support, the Final Fantasy XIV livestream delivered a ton of new content fans are sure to be excited about when it drops April 12th on PC, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. Some of the new glamour look really freaking good, so I highly suggest checking out the full patch breakdown. Moving on, an Elden Ring player has discovered a creative and genius way to use Margit's Shackle that will come in handy in revealing hidden walls in the lands between. As demonstrated by user Nate the Punk 211 on Reddit, the Margit Shackle can be used to reveal hidden pathways and disable fire traps found in dungeons, so players no longer have to endanger themselves trying to deactivate it from close distance. Players have found other uses for the item, such as to activate a mechanism that kills all the chariots in Erza's hero's grave. Margit's Shackle is commonly used to AoE stun Margit in the boss fight, and is hypothesized that the Shackle sends a shockwave that is meant to cover the boss area to snag and stun Margit. Whether its use in revealing hidden walls and disabling traps is by design, one thing is for sure: you can now completely do away with hitting all the walls you come across and wasting your time striking everything 50 plus times. And finally, Halo Infinite is confirmed to one day include updates inspired by the hit Paramount Plus TV show. In an interview with the Washington Post community director Brian Gerard stated that content inspired by the Halo TV series will be coming out in the game down the road. Though Ben didn't provide details on what the content might be, he did tease that 343 Industries was brainstorming ways to add threads and nods from the Halo TV series into Infinite's live service model. In addition, Gerard explained how the Halo TV show would bridge the gap where fans of the show with no experience of the Halo games or books would eventually cross-pollinate with fans of the game. We won't know how far down the road Easter eggs from the Halo TV series will be featured in the game, but Halo Infinite Season 2 Lone Wolves arrives May 3rd with all new maps, modes, and campaign updates. Days Gone director Jeff Ross announced earlier today that he has joined Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics. Ross announced in a tweet he has joined the studio as design director just hours after Crystal Dynamics quietly revealed it was working on a new Tomb Raider game. Ross didn't explicitly state he'd be working on Tomb Raider, but has previously expressed a desire to work on an Uncharted game. And considering Crystal Dynamics took inspiration from it for the rebooted Tomb Raider, this is the next best thing. This new Tomb Raider game is probably a bit of a ways away since it doesn't have an official title or release window. Crystal Dynamics is also co-developing the Perfect Dark reboot and continues to work on Marvel's Avengers, so there are options for Ross as he joins Crystal Dynamics' Crystal Northwest. Who's crossing their fingers for Ross to join Tomb Raider? Personally, I'm holding out for a Gex reboot. Remember Gex? Hello? Anyone? Gex fans? Sound off in the comments. There are dozens of us out there. I hope. Moving on, Guerrilla Games, the developers of Horizon Forbidden West, added a feature to the game that should shave hours off your playtime. In a good way. Reported by Eurogamer, the latest update allows players to turn off the animation that plays when Aloy picks up items, instantly zapping them into your inventory. Considering how much time is spent scrounging resources and crafting components in Horizon, this is a welcome change. Better still, it also applies while Aloy is on her mount, making harvesting enemy drops and other items in the open world faster. Of course, if you feel watching every single animation adds to the immersive experience, you can keep them on. It's about damn time they change this, but for the hours already spent patiently waiting for Aloy to be done picking stuff up, we'll never get that back. Speaking of taking stuff that doesn't belong to you, Epic Games is being sued once again for putting dance moves in Fortnite without getting permission from the original choreographer. But this time, Epic might not get off scot-free. Kaya Hanagami, a well-known choreographer for the likes of Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, and Blackpink, has filed a lawsuit against Epic Games claiming that the dance emote It's Complicated, which was added in 2020, is a direct ripoff of Hanagami's copyrighted dance moves from a performance routine for Charlie Puth's How Long? According to an NBC report, Hanagami's lawyers claim Epic did not credit nor seek consent to use, display, reproduce, sell, or create derivative work based on the registered choreography. Hanagami's lawyer also dropped this side-by-side comparison of the dance moves on YouTube, ruling out any chance this is a coincidence. Unlike previous dance lawsuits against Epic, like the 2018 Backpack Kid case that was filed for the same allegations but later dismissed, Hanagami actually copyrighted the moves seen in the complex routine. Epic's stance on the situation, argued in a previous hearing, is that individual dance steps and simple dance routines are not protected by copyright, but rather are building blocks of free expression. Hanagami and his lawyers feel compelled to file a lawsuit against Epic to stand up for choreographers whose work can commonly be misappropriated. Sure, dance moves are a method of expression, but acknowledge the creative process. It's hard enough out here for creators, and let's be real, Epic can afford to pay a licensing fee, or at least a nice cash settlement. If this doesn't hold up in the court of law, there's only one way to settle this: a dance battle.
In the VCT Game Changers North American Open qualifiers, Complexity and Team X were facing off against each other this weekend. However, Complexity played with a male coach as an emergency sub player to avoid being penalized with a forfeit after Annie Animal Lee slept through the first map. For those unaware, Game Changers is Valorant's all-women competition, so one of the rules is teams must field a full squad of 5 women. One of Complexity's teammates, Lacey, aka Lace Dilworth, went to Twitter to ask followers to help her wake up Annie. The team did have to start their game down a player, and the map was considered forfeit since the rules don't allow teams to play without a full roster. Team X did wait for Complexity to get their team settled and subbed in their male coach Johnny Bombs, but they still lost the map and the match 0-2. Of course, this sub-in from a male player in Game Changers was questioned by the community, and Riot released a statement via .esports saying, "In an effort to avoid competition delays, we made oversights regarding match continuation and emergency substitutions for Game Changers. We are evaluating our processes following those scenarios. Furthermore, we will work closely with participating teams to ensure there is no confusion about respective player eligibility." If we take a look at the Game Changers rulebook, actually, it states that all players on a team's roster must be women, and in situations where you're without a full team, players have 10 minutes between each match to find a substitute. We'll see if any changes to the rulebook come in the future and how Riot will address this issue moving forward. In more Riot competitive news, T1 completed an undefeated split by defeating Gen G with a score of 3-1 to win the League of Legends Champions Korea 2022 spring title. This gives T1 their 10th LCK title, and they are the first team to qualify for the Mid-Season Invitational 2022 in Busan, South Korea. Before the match, we saw Gen G's content creator Tim Nemesis Lipovsek on as a special guest analyst, and the CEOs of T1 and Gen G calling into their teams to wish them good luck. MSI 2022 starts on May 10th, so be sure to keep an eye out for T1. It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, we discuss the rumor that Jim Carrey is retiring from acting, and DC has called an emergency meeting regarding the future of The Flash. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Jim Carrey is hinting that his role as Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 may be the end of his acting career. But before that, Disney Plus has deleted a tribute to the late Stan Lee at the end of an episode of The Punisher. Let's find out some more on this.
Now, it looks like Disney has gone from censoring what they might deem as sensitive content to completely removing scenes from some of their streaming content with the removal of a memorial tribute to the late Stan Lee from The Punisher's second season finale. Now, according to Screen Rant, the dedication that read, quote, "In loving memory of Stan Lee" no longer appears just before the credits roll in the final episode of The Punisher Season 2. Which is kind of odd, as a similar tribute to the late and great Stan Lee appears in the final season of Jessica Jones, presumably untouched by the forces that be at Disney+. Now, given the amount of violence The Punisher has, that might have been a deciding factor over at the House of Mouse, especially as there were some viewers that called it inappropriate given the nature of the show when it initially aired on Netflix back in 2019. Luke Cage also saw its tribute to the late actor Reggie Cathy removed in the show's season 2 finale. Now, Disney hasn't given an official comment on the removal of the tribute, so only speculative conversations are floating around on the internet as to why. Now, this of course comes off the heels of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier censored scenes that were confirmed by Disney to have been accidentally uploaded and published onto the platform. I think the question that a lot of fans have is, why the removal of a tribute to a man who was so instrumental in many of the stories and characters seen in the Marvel Universe? We'll have to wait and see what's up with this as we all continue to keep an eagle eye on those Netflix Marvel shows, and the internet continues to point out any differences in some of their original runs on streaming. Now, in other news, Netflix has announced season 3 of The Witcher has officially begun filming, with this tweet featuring the cast and another giving us the official synopsis of what fans can expect in the new season. In the show's third season, we can expect to see dark magic and treachery in all its glory when The Witcher Season 3 graces us with its presence, adapting the second novel in the main Witcher saga. Now, no word just yet on when we can expect it, but we'll let y'all know as soon as we do.
A man, a myth, a legend.
Why do you need your help?
Fine, but first, gentlemen, it's been an honor. What? I made new friends. Get over it. Jealous?
And finally, please tell me y'all saw Bob's Burgers, the movie trailer drop, because it dropped. It done dropped because it's really good and I want y'all to see it. Now, Fox dropped the trailer letting us know that we can visit the Belcher family this Memorial Day, where we can expect meat, mystery, and mayhem, the 3 M's, to ensue in this movie. I'm so excited for it. I can barely contain myself. Linda!
All right, Linda, that's your 4th dog. Anything coming to you yet?
Yeah, not yet. Oh, wait, something's coming. Something's coming. Oh, it's just a burp. I'm gassy.
Jim Carrey might be stepping away from acting. This news comes after a recent interview the Sonic 2 actor did with Access. Now, in it, he talks about retiring from his long tenure in the industry, devoting his time to painting and simply enjoying a much more calm and peaceful life outside of the Hollywood bubble. Now, he did, however, mention that if the perfect script penned by the angels above and written in gold finds its way onto his desk and he considers it something important for people to see, well, then he might continue down that road. But for now, he's taking a break. Let's watch.
I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
Wow, such powerful words. And if you're out there still skeptical about whether or not he is retiring, rest assured that this isn't an April Fool's prank. Pretty sure that interview was shot days before going live on Access's website. Now, the question Sonic fans might have after this particular revelation is, what does this mean for Sonic 3? Now, will that particular script be poignant enough to pull Jim back in from his newfound retirement? While I'd like to hold out hope that he'd return for a third Sonic film, until we all see Sonic 2, we currently have no clue as to how Carrey's character arc as Dr. Robotnik wraps up in the sequel. Maybe this concludes the story of Eggman for now, allowing for another one of Sonic's enemies to step up and challenge the Blue Blur. Maybe Shadow? Who knows? Maybe it's too soon for Shadow. We'll never know. But we'll have to wait and see when Sonic 2 hits theaters April 8th. Now, in other news, the Multiverse of Madness might just be the MCU's biggest movie yet, according to actor Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, coming off the heels of the multiverse-shattering film No Way Home, the Multiverse of Madness is set to expand upon the multiple universes within the MCU, with Cumberbatch telling Total Film, quote, "It's pretty full on, and it's big, man. It's very, very ambitious, and if we bring it off, I think it could be one of the biggest Marvel films we've seen so far. It's going to be an absolute riot, and if it brings off the level of ambition it's got, we're going to have a success on the level of Spidey." Now, with the amount of characters spanning the Spider-Man universe, well, that's definitely saying a lot. And with the direction it seems the Multiverse of Madness is taking, we might see characters from all little pockets of the MCU show up. And we'll have to wait and see when the movie drops May 6th. And finally, Morbius took a bite out of the box office with Thursday previews, bringing in $5.7 million in sales. Now, for comparison, that's just under the $5.9 million DC's Shazam made in 2019. But it is still a far cry from Venom 2's $11.6 million in their Thursday previews. And, well, I don't even know if I should mention or compare it to Spider-Man No Way Home, man. That's not even a fair comparison. That Spidey outing scored $50 million. Now, these are all domestic box office numbers, I should point out. Now, Morbius has a very long way to go if it plans on eclipsing both the symbiote and the spider at the box office. I don't even know if that's even possible, man, because it's Spider-Man. You can't beat the Spider-Man. You cannot do whatever a spider can, Morbius. Sorry, you're a vampire. Now, it's looking like the studio behind the upcoming Flash movie, Warner Brothers, might be looking into what options it might have to take regarding actor Ezra Miller's public conduct as of late. Now, according to the Rolling Stone, WB and DC execs held an emergency meeting to discuss the actor's future with the studio following Ezra's recent arrest. Now, while a decision doesn't appear to have been formalized, one source says the consensus is to, quote, hit pause on any future projects involving Miller, including possible appearances in the DC cinematic universe. Now, you may remember hearing about Ezra's arrest after reportedly becoming agitated while at a local bar in Hawaii, where he grabbed the mic from one patron doing karaoke and lunged at another who was playing darts. Now, on March 29th, a couple filed a temporary restraining order against the actor after Ezra reportedly stormed into their bedroom and threatened them. These are just a few of the many public outbursts we've seen play out. Back in January, the actor threatened the North Carolina chapter of the KKK, and in 2020, a video went viral of the Flash actor choking a woman and throwing her to the ground at a local bar in Iceland. Now, that was likely the first time the public witnessed such an act from the actor, which really came as a shock and a surprise. Now, whether this and many of the other public acts of violence will have an effect on Ezra's current and future opportunities in the DCEU remains to be seen as we wait for news to break on WB and DC's decisions coming out of this emergency meeting. Now, there's obviously something deeper going on with Ezra, and I honestly hope they get whatever help in their personal life that's needed to get them through what they're dealing with. You know, it's really unfortunate to see a rising star, come crashing down like a shooting star. But you know what they say about shooting stars, make a wish. And that wish from me to you is that you get the help you likely need in this time that you're going through. But you know what? I want to know what y'all think about all of this. Sound off down below in the comments. Now, in other news, more Doctor Strange 2 footage has emerged. In the newly released TV spot for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we see the return of Wanda's children, albeit briefly, as well as zombie versions of both Strange and Wanda. Now, this will mark the first time we'll see Marvel zombies on the big screen, unless you count the zombie Iron Man from the illusion sequence in Far From Home. But this is far from an illusion as we dive into the Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange 2 releases May 4th. And finally, Sam Raimi, that's right, Sam Raimi is down for another Spider-Man flick with Tobey Maguire, everyone's favorite Spider-Man. That's subjective, I shouldn't say that, because that might not be your Spider-Man. Anyways, speaking of Fandango, the filmmaker said, quote, "I've come to realize after making Doctor Strange that anything is possible, really anything in the Marvel universe, any team-ups. I love Tobey, I love Kirsten Dunst, I think all things are possible." Raimi also said he doesn't have a plan just yet for a Spider-Man sequel, but he'd really love to work with Tobey again, even if it's in a different role. You really love to hear it.
I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Weekly Fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.